Thank you, and welcome to the world of streaming galas. I'm your host, Gail Lewis. This evening's gala, of course, the Eastern Queens Alliance. So welcome, everyone, to the Idlewild Park Preserve Benefits and Awards Virtual Gala. As you can see, we've gotten some of the gremlins worked out. So once we've gotten over that hump, we're in for a really great evening. Before we start this evening, let's just take a moment of silence just to remember everyone who's been affected by COVID-19, the coronavirus. Know that our thoughts are with you now and always. Let's start by, of course, saying thank you. So many thanks to our honorary co-hosts for this event this evening, Congressman Gregory Meeks, Senator Leroy Comrie and James Sanders, and council members Danique Miller and Donovan Richards. We also should acknowledge the corporate sponsorship of JFK Redevelopment Program and Gateway JFK. And the very first award I want to give away this evening is to Michael and Eudora. They were the dancers from the Zoom pre-party. You guys get the Solid Gold Dancer Award for this evening. It's our very first as well. So thank you for entertaining us. And I want to know if you guys are available for parties as well. So if you missed them, they were amazing. They looked like they fell out of a music video. So you missed something good. So tonight you've already gotten a special treat with Michael and Eudora, and you're in for many, many more special treats this evening as well. As we learn more about the Eastern Queens Alliance and its environmental initiatives, and about Idlewild Park, and as we celebrate our local and national honorees who will speak truth to power through their community work. And this evening's theme is Speaking Our Truth. So you'll see that this evening as well. So let's begin this exciting evening with a dramatic interpretation of Lift Every Voice and Sing, featuring our own chair from Eastern Queens Alliance, Barbara Brown.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. God of our wearies, God of our places, our God, where we met thee last. Our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand. May we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
Welcome, friends, partners, and guests. My name is Patrick Evans, treasurer of the Eastern Queens Alliance. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us in the EQA's first virtual awards benefit gala, an event that will be most memorable for our honorees, the program, and you, our guests. The theme of this year's gala is Speaking Our Truth. We will also hear from Eastern Queens Alliance chairperson Barbara Brown. She will tell us how the Alliance speaks our truth through environmental justice and quality of life initiatives, and how those initiatives support sustainable communities of Southeast Queens.
I'm Louis Kilkenny, Recording Secretary. Did you know that the Eastern Queens Alliance is a steward of Idlewild Park? The park is a 325-acre forever wild preserve that sits at the mouth of Jamaica Bay. Southeastern Queens is blessed to have this natural resource right in our own backyard. And through this event, we will raise funds for environmental education programs, enhancements for our hiking trail, and exhibits for a new Environmental Science Center that is scheduled to open early next year. So tonight, celebrate with the Eastern Queens Alliance and feel good about the fact that your dollars and donations are helping to build healthy communities for us all. Thank you for your support and enjoy the evening.
Good afternoon. It is a privilege and honor to extend greetings and best wishes to the Eastern Queens Alliance Incorporated on hosting the 2020 Idlewild Park Preserve Benefit and Awards Luncheon. This afternoon, we honor individuals who are giving exemplary service to our community in the areas of education, the environment, media, communications, social justice, and civic engagement. This year's event marks 30 years of EQA's commitment to a sustainable Southeastern Queens and speaks to the importance of collaborative achievement-driven relationships. This year's honorees have consistently brought a high quality of leadership and initiative to their chosen professions and wider endeavors, while imparting a keen understanding of the issues and challenges involved. In all, they have accomplished much. Each has also demonstrated extraordinary commitment to uplifting the community, displayed exceptional sustainability in making their ongoing contributions, and exhibited remarkable tenacity in continuously waging the good fight. This afternoon, I am privileged to extend my warmest congratulations to the recipients of the 2020 Snowy Egret Award and 20 Community Service Awards. So let us not only enjoy ourselves this afternoon, but also this wonderful occasion to rededicate ourselves to adding our individual and institutional quality to enhancing and elevating our families and communities. Please enjoy this exceptional afternoon.
Sylvina Brooks Powers.
And I am Natasha Williams.
And we are the managers of external affairs and community outreach for the JFK Redevelopment Program.
And we are super excited to bring virtual greetings from our office, the JFK Redevelopment Outreach Team. So much has transpired this year, but we remain hopeful, and we have continued to service our community, the communities of Southeast Queens, Southwest Queens, the Rockaways, and parts of Nassau County. And we just look forward to continuing to service you.
So congratulations to all of the honorees. We commend you on the efforts that you do in our community and the recognition that you are receiving from the Eastern Queens Alliance. We commend the EQA for pulling together this virtual gala. Despite the circumstances, it's always a great time when we can fellowship, even if it's virtually. So thank you and have a wonderful event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. Thanks, Elvina. So moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, remember that one of our goals this evening is to spread the word about beautiful Idlewild Park Preserve. It's a wonderful natural resource that's right here in our own backyards in Eastern Queens. So tonight, in an effort to do just that, we're premiering the Idlewild Family Feud game. Woohoo! I know. It's just like on TV, only with EQA. It's an activity adapted for the EQA in cooperation with an organization that's known as Public Agenda. And you'll hear a little bit more about the organization Public Agenda a little bit later this evening. But this is the first of 3 rounds of Family Feud that we're going to play throughout the evening. So it's a short, and then it'll be followed by a short video highlighting the Idlewild Park Preserve. So let's go to the Family Feud. Let's play the feud.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Idlewild Family Feud. I'm your host, Treston Codrington from Public Agenda, and this is Idlewild Family Feud. We've got a great game for you today. We've got 2 awesome families. We've got the Goldenrod family and the Sweet Aster family. And they are fighting today to win a prize of a rare signed copy of the award-winning 1619 Project magazine, which is no longer in circulation. First team to reach 300 points wins the game. Let's play some feud. Give me Joelle. Give me Diana. All right. We've got the top 8 answers on the board. We surveyed 100 people in Eastern Queens. Name an animal that you are likely to see in Idlewild. Joelle. All right, goose. Survey says. Number 1 answer. Joelle, are we going to pass or play?
I think we're going to play it.
All right, let's go to the Sweet Aster team. Aaliyah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Aaliyah Abraham, and I am a lifelong Queens resident. Currently, I live in the community of Springfield Gardens.
All right, Aaliyah. So name an animal that you are likely to see in Idlewild.
A squirrel.
All right, squirrel. Survey says. There it is, squirrel. Lonnie, how are you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm doing okay. My name is Lonnie Glover. I'm a Queens Springfield Gardens resident, a retired resident, but still active in the community for a number of years. The animal you can find in Idlewild Park is I've seen rabbits in Springfield Park.
Okay, let's see rabbits. Survey says. No, looks like other people haven't seen rabbits. Joelle, Sweet Aster team leader, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Springfield Gardens. I've lived here my whole life, and career-wise, I am an SEL coach.
Wonderful. Name an animal you see in Idlewild.
My answer is going to be turtles.
Okay, turtles. Let's see it. Survey says. There it is. Okay, we're almost halfway through the board. Aaliyah, can you take us through the finish?
All right. Maybe people bring their pets, so maybe like a dog. Maybe people bring their dogs there.
People bring their dogs, survey says.
Good answer. All right.
There it is. Lonnie, we're back to you.
Iguanas.
Iguanas, survey says. Lonnie, I think you're the only one seeing iguanas in Idlewild.
Depends on where you're looking.
Depends on where you're looking. Joelle, let's see. What do people see in Idlewild Preserve?
You'd probably see some fish.
Okay, last chance before Goldenrod has a chance to steal. Fish.
Good answer.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So now we're going to go to the Goldenrod team. Diana, what does your team think? Name an animal you see in Idlewild.
I've heard a few people have noticed a lot of these things lately. They are lizards.
Okay, lizards. Survey says. I'm sorry, there are no lizards in Idlewild, at least not what people see. And that means that the Sweet After team has won round one with a sweet and solid 63 points. So let's see what the other answers are. What are some other things that people see in Queens? Number 2, raccoons. I know I see a lot of those. Number 4, snakes. Love that. Love that. Number 6, possums. And finally, number 8, donkeys.
Lizards, but a donkey with no lizards. Okay.
Who's seeing donkeys? The people have spoken. So that is round 1 of Idlewild Family Feud.
Welcome to Idlewild Park Preserve, the ecological jewel located in Brookville and Rosedale in Southeast Queens. This is a view of the hiking trail through the preserve. The path didn't always look this clear. Since 2003, one of the main projects of the Eastern Queens Alliance has been the preservation and restoration of the preserve to make it accessible to members of our community and beyond. Building the hiking trail was an important first step. Many thanks to the people from the community who rolled up their sleeves and came out early Saturday mornings to clear brush, lay bark chips, and create the paths. And we are grateful to public and private grants that help us design and maintain the trail. The preserve is home to a unique wetland ecosystem. Alex Hart, architectural landscaper for the Trail Project.
The first time I explored Idlewild Park Preserve, I was amazed at the diversity of different ecological systems that were functioning right next to each other. In fact, in some ways it really reminds me of New York City itself, where you have, of course, people from many different backgrounds that are living and working together. But at Idlewild, you have freshwater wetlands, saltwater wetlands, upland forests, meadows, and many other landscapes all flourishing together.
The preserve is home to the snowy egret, our signature bird, osprey, the short-eared owl, marsh hawks, sparrows, and robins, and also the diamond-backed terrapin, a turtle found in the salt marshes and on the threatened list. Barbara Brown, chair of the Eastern Queens Alliance.
People from the community and parks have come together to plant shrubs and trees in various parts of the park. Much of this has been part of the city's Million Tree Initiative. Today, as you walk through the trails, you will run into not only beautiful flowers, but the majestic Million Tree Path that is the result of that community and city partnership. The overall vision of our Idlewild Wetland Restoration Project is an environmental educational complex which includes an environmental science learning center, hiking trails, and an overlook to the salt marsh. The theme is man with nature, man against nature, a constant reminder of our need to monitor, maintain, and in some cases restore balance across our economic, technological, environmental, and human wants and needs as our society continues to evolve.
I do really feel that Idlewild is a wonderful resource for the community right now, and certainly could be even better in the future. I really look forward to the day when you can have kids, senior citizens, and everyone else in between of all abilities who can easily traverse the park and experience the delightful nature that I've been able to experience there.
Greetings, I am New York State Senator James Sanders Jr., and I want to congratulate the Eastern Queens Alliance on its 2020 Idlewild Park Preserve Benefit and Awards Luncheon, which honors community and national leaders and raises funds for school and community-based educational programs. This is truly a momentous occasion as we celebrate EQA's 30 years of service and its commitment to a sustainable Southeast Queens. Let me take a moment here to tell you something, my friends. If ever there was a time when we needed EQA, we need it now. America and the world, as a matter of fact, is undergoing two pandemics. On one, we know of COVID-19. Yes, it's a horrible thing. It'll be great when we smash and crush this thing and not sweep it under the rug as some in other places would want you to believe. No, we're going to deal with this. But we're also dealing with the question of the racial and economic inequality. That is at the surface now, and we really need to tackle that one. And part of the impact of that is on the environment, where many of these racial groups find themselves. So we have groups like EQA at the front line of dealing with that. And my friends, if you ever have been needed, you're needed now. It's also a particularly proud moment as EQA has begun construction on their long-awaited and much-anticipated Environmental Education Center. The Idlewild Park Preserve Environmental Center is a system of trails, boardwalks, and open classrooms being designed in Idlewild Park. It will be an excellent complement to its beautiful nature center. The EQA should be commended for its fine work and especially for using its fundraising proceeds to pay for exhibits and STEM educational activities at the Environmental Center as well as in our community schools. It's my special honor to recognize each of the 2020 Snowy Egret Award honorees. Dr. Bullard and Dr. Hudda, it's a pleasure. Thank you for what you've done. I would also like to recognize each of the 2020 Community Service honorees. Let's go through the list. George Bradley, Crystal Brown, Renee Hill, Dwight Johnson, Marcia O'Brien, and Darlene Peebles. Thanks to you all, my friends. You've done your community well. I thank you. Once again, congratulations to each of you. May you enjoy continued success. EQA, 30 years, man, the best is yet to come. We got something for it. And you know what? When it comes to EQA, I'm Senator James Sanders Jr., and I got you.
Thanks, Senator Sanders, for those words of speaking your truth about EQA. Now it's time to meet our first group of honorees. This year's national honoree recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance Snowy Egret Award include Dr. Robert Bullard, Nicole Hannah Jones, and Dr. Neelakshi Hudda. Let's hear from them now.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Brown. I'm president of the Springfield-Rosedale Community Action Association and chair of the Eastern Queens Alliance. And I'm honored today to present a 2020 Snowy Egret Award to Dr. Robert D. Bullard, also known as the father of environmental justice. Dr. Bullard is a distinguished professor of urban planning and environmental policy at Texas Southern University in Houston. He is co-founder of the HBCU Climate Change Consortium and award-winning author of 18 books that address such areas as sustainable development, environmental racism, urban land use, and community resilience, just to name a few. Dr. Bullard was featured in the 2007 CNN People You Should Know. In 2008, Newsweek named him one of 13 environmental leaders of the century. In 2010, the Griot named him one of the 100 Black history makers in the making. Planet Harmony named him one of the 10 African American green heroes. And in 2019, Apolitical named him one of the world's 100 most influential people in climate policy. These are just a few of his many awards and honors. Dr. Bullard's book, Dumping and Dixie, Race, Class, and Environmental Equality, was one of the first books to introduce readers to the field of environmental justice, published by Westview Press in 1990. He has written many books since then, and they are listed in his full biography, which can be found on our website. He is a proud Vietnam-era U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Dr. Bullard, the Eastern Queens Alliance thanks you for your courageous and uncompromising scholarship, and we present the 2020 Snowy Egret Award for your environmental justice efforts. The award reads, for your award-winning and pioneering accomplishments as a distinguished professor and for your leadership as an environmental activist, and your prolific body of work on environmental justice and sustainable development. Congratulations, Dr. Bullard.
Well, good evening and thank you. First of all, I'd like to really congratulate the Eastern Queen Alliance for being a leader for the last 3 decades. I want to give honor and thanks and accept this award on behalf of the work and the scores of grassroots groups and communities I've worked with for the last 3 decades. Communities that have been on a quest and a journey for environmental and economic justice. And as I accept this award tonight, there are environmental justice communities all across this country that are threatened like no other time in our history. They faced multiple and converging threats of rollbacks in environmental protection and regulations and laws, efforts to invalidate the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. They face threats of this deadly COVID-19 pandemic that has hit people of color, households, workers, and small businesses hardest. We're looking at threats from heightened risks from climate change and these very powerful storms during this 2020 hurricane season. We have threats to Black wealth from environmental racism that is basically diminishing our property values from our home ownership and equity. We have voter suppression and political disenfranchisement. These converging threats means that we have to understand that all of these issues are on the ballot today. Justice is on the ballot. That's why we need everyone to vote in support of environmental justice, climate justice, economic justice, racial justice, and yes, criminal justice. We must overcome voter suppression roadblocks that are placed in our past. This election is too important to sit it out. We must vote, vote, vote. And again, I thank EQA for honoring me this evening and honoring the work. Thank you very much.
Good evening and blessings to all. My name is Gloria Boyce Charles and I'm the Vice Chair for the Eastern Queens Alliance. I'm so proud to present a 2020 Snowy Egret Award to the fiercely courageous Nicole Hannah Jones, who speaks her truth passionately, loudly, and most righteously through her work every day. Nicole Hannah Jones is an award-winning investigative reporter covering racial injustice for the New York Times Magazine. She's the winner of a 2020 Pulitzer Prize for her work as the creator of the landmark 1619 Project, an initiative that challenges us all to revisit the role of slavery in the making of the American Republic, and that presses our educational system to address these truths in our curriculum. In 2017, she received a MacArthur Foundation Fellowship known as the Genius Grant for her work on educational inequality. She has also won a Peabody Award, a Polk National Magazine Award, and the 2018 John Chancellor Distinguished Journalism Award from Columbia University. In 2016, Nicole co-founded the Ida B. Wells Society for Investigative Reporting, a training and mentorship organization geared towards increasing the numbers of investigative reporters of color. Ms. Nicole Hannah Jones, the Eastern Queens Alliance, presents you with the 2020 Snowy Egret Award for Social Justice, Communications, and Journalism for your Pulitzer Prize award-winning creation of the landmark 1619 Project, and for your passionate and fearless commitment to investigative reporting and truth-telling in the proud tradition of our courageous ancestors. Congratulations, Ms. Nicole Hannah Jones.
Hello, hello, hello. I wish I could be with you all tonight in celebrating with the Eastern Queens Alliance Incorporated. Unfortunately, in these times, we have to do these things apart, but the spirit of the organization and the fellowship, of course, continues. I would like to first express my deep gratitude and honor for being named a recipient of the Snowy Egret Award. This is such an important organization. The Eastern Queens Alliance comes at a time when we desperately need mutual aid societies to support us in these unparalleled times. We cannot always depend on government institutions to do the right thing for all citizens. And so we have to step up and we have to bridge that gap for our communities. And that is something that the Eastern Queens Alliance has been doing for 30 years. I want to offer my deep congratulations on the 30th anniversary of this organization and express my deep admiration for Chairperson Barbara E. Brown and all of her work and service of the Eastern Queens Alliance and to our communities. This is an exciting time for the Alliance, of course. The Alliance will open next year the Environmental Science Center, which will be such an asset to our communities, particularly as we're seeing the role that climate change is playing and the havoc that it is going to reap on our most vulnerable communities. I also would like to honor the other honorees tonight who are also being awarded by the Eastern Queens Alliance for all of the work that you all do in our communities and to make us a stronger New York. And the last thing I'd like to say is I am a journalist who's been writing about racial inequality for many years, and this period that we're in is going to be the most important election of my lifetime. It is critical that we get out and vote and make our voices heard because we need to save our democracy and save the lives of our fellow community members. So I hope that all of you will leave if you are not registered to vote already and go online and register to vote. You can request an absentee ballot and be sent to your house, and that you exercise your hard fought for right in this democracy. Again, I wish we could all be together tonight, but I am truly honored and continued well wishes and success to the Eastern Queens Alliance. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Richard Belgrave, and I'm a professional member of the Eastern Queens Alliance. It is my privilege to present a 2020 Snowy Egret Award to Dr. Neelakshi Hudda. Dr. Neelakshi Hudda is an environmental engineer and research assistant professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Tufts University. She researches the effects of transportation emissions on air quality and human health. Dr. Hudda's research has led her to shed light on the adverse air quality impacts of airport-generated air pollution, and has also suggested mitigation strategies and interventions to reduce indoor exposures to air pollutants. Dr. Hudda also collaborates in community engaged research trials on intervention strategies. These are critical research approaches and findings for environmental justice communities, such as our own that are located near international airports. Dr. Hudda, the Eastern Queens Alliance thanks you for your scholarship and we present you with the 2020 Snorri Egret Award for Going Green and Healthy Environment. For your pioneering research on airport-generated air pollution, the development of mitigation strategies and interventions to reduce human exposure to these harms, and for your work with communities to help them understand adverse air quality impacts. Dr. Hudda, it's my pleasure.
Thank you, Richard. Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be with you tonight. I'm honored to receive the award and to be among honorees whose careers are an inspiration for an early career researcher such as myself. Foremost, I would like to thank Eastern Queens Alliance. I'm deeply appreciative for this recognition and the spotlight it shines on my research in the area of urban air quality, in particular of aviation emissions. My research partnership with the Alliance began with a simple email in 2014. Ms. Brown had read my article on aviation impacts in Los Angeles and reached out to my advisor, who put me in touch with her because, as luck would have it, I had just moved to New York City. Great timing. I hope that the past 6 years represent only a beginning of what is to come. And my vision for it is a partnership to which I can deliver research that the community finds useful to improve the quality of the environment. Not many years ago, I was one of the attendees at this benefit gala. Some words spoken by Ms. Brown in the introduction to that year's luncheon rung true to me and still do. She questioned if our homes were still a sanctuary for us, given the relentless onslaught of environmental insults. We know they ought to be. The question is certainly more critical for some communities than for others. Unfortunately, it is particularly so for the communities near airports like Queens, which have to suffer multiple environmental insults ranging from noise to air pollution. My career will be well spent if I can make a difference in bridging that gap, bringing about the changes in the environment that let the homes be that perfect sanctuary they ought to be. My partnership with the Alliance provides me with an opportunity to make a difference, for which I am deeply grateful. For having found such a partnership at an early stage in my career, I am very fortunate. In the coming years, I hope we can come together and bring the recognition that is overdue to the environmental burden that is imposed on communities around JFK, and take lasting steps towards restoring the homes into sanctuaries. I have to acknowledge the moment that we are in this year. It has been a difficult year on many fronts. The pandemic and the socio-political environment has been bringing many hardships upon us. I gave birth to a child this year, so it has been a year of somber reflection for me. My other child was not here and was separated from the family because the pandemic struck while she was visiting her grandparents in India. But I do want to end on a hopeful note tonight by sharing with you a personal story, and I raise a cheer to the timing that only life can pull off. Right now, as I speak to you, my daughter is on an airplane destined for USA, which will land at JFK tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. There's no place in the world that is more important to me right now than JFK. I hope the plane lands noiselessly over the beautiful skies of Queens. Thank you again. I'm truly honored and grateful.
Congratulations to our distinguished national honorees. Let's give them a round of applause. As Dr. Hudda's research indicates, access to clean air is a basic human right that is all too often at risk in our Black and Brown communities. Sadly, today's COVID pandemic poses an additional threat as it literally takes the breath of people of color at an astonishingly disproportionate rate. And shockingly, in the year 2020, Black lives still continue to be snuffed out at the hands of civil and social injustice. The EQA is proud to say that Black lives matter. This next piece that you will hear is from the Chester Children's Choir. It was first written by the choir's director upon the death of Eric Gardner, and it has since been resurrected with George Floyd's murder. Out of the mouths of babes, you can hear the pain and the truth in I Still Can't Breathe. Be advised, some scenes may be disturbing and might be regarded as inappropriate for children, particularly at the end of the video. With that, please listen with us to our in memorandum tribute, I Can't Breathe, by the Chester Children's Choir, led by director John Alston.
One, two, three.
We'll come back to the Chester Children's Choir in a little while. It's a very passionate and powerful video, so hopefully we'll be able to see the end. Switching gears, now you're going to hear from our own Eastern Queens Alliance Chair, Ms. Barbara E. Brown.
Very thrilled that all of you have been able to join us, and hopefully you are enjoying the evening. The song that you just heard the part of, and we'll hear the rest of very shortly, is called I Still Can't Breathe by John Alston. The song speaks not only of the recent murders of Black men by police, but it speaks to all the lynchings that have taken place in this country over the last 400 plus years. It speaks to not only actual lynching, but to those killings and deaths that have occurred because of the systemic racism, which is very much in evidence in our country. The song was written and performed initially 4 years ago in 2016 when Eric Garner was killed. And a few of the chorus members who are now 4 years older have voiced their opinions about the killing of George Floyd. One young lady said, "When I hear the song now, there's a huge sense of deja vu." A young man said, "Now I'm an adult, a grown man, and the same things are still happening." They referred to the song as a literal description that had happened, but also as a metaphor for the Black experience in America, for the actual racist and the reality that there are those who are in denial that there is such a thing as systemic racism. As the young woman said, there is a sense of hope because there are young kids singing this song, but there is a sense of real helplessness because these are young kids singing it. Young Black kids realize what's going on, but are saddened because they believe that some adults either don't know or refuse to believe that racism is still alive and well in this country. Another one of John Alston's students, named Sky, recently voiced the opinion, racism will never go away, America will never change, and that she will never be able to do anything about it. That's a real sad commentary on our society. And we need to make sure that Sky and other kids are not feeling that way. John Alston challenges us by asking, what can we do right now to convince Sky and other children that change is possible, and that when they grow up, they will be able to really make America a better place? For them to do that, we need to be making America a better place now. We can't leave it to the future generation. So our response, the EQA response, is that we must speak truth, speak our truth, and speak truth to power. We realize that this is what we must do to improve our situation, and this is what the Alliance has been trying to do actually for the last 30 years. Breath is life, and life is breath. So that song is talking about life, not just breath. The breath of Black and brown peoples in this country, as with other humans, indeed in the world, must be viewed as sacred and precious, just as it is for every other person. And keep in mind, while breath cut off by chokeholds leads to sudden, immediate death, breath cut off by asthma, by cardiovascular disease, by lung cancer, by high blood pressure, by diabetes, and a whole host of other health conditions caused or exacerbated by the toxicants and air pollutants that saturate our communities as a result of environmental racism and environmental injustice are also chokeholds. Our communities are often treated as sacrifice communities for those things that no one wants in his or her backyard, and we have to constantly fight against that. Be aware that air pollution has made our communities triply or quadruply susceptible to the COVID-19 pandemic, because they have found that the virus actually hitches on to particles of air pollution. The poverty, poor health, poor education, and food insecurity that exist in our communities are also chokeholds. Disguised chokeholds that apply pressure slowly over time, so that very often you don't know that the man or the person, the powers that be, are out there and have their foot or arm on your neck. If we don't recognize what's going on, if we don't recognize that Southeast Queens, for example, is a community that is the victim of environmental racism or environmental injustice, then we make Sky's assessment true that racism will never go away and America will never change, and that she will never be able to do anything about it. EQA's theme this year, as you've heard, is speaking our truth. It is what we've been trying to do over the years. We recognize that until we speak truth and speak truth to power, to those in high places, in the halls of Congress and other governmental bodies and agencies and corporate boardrooms that can make a change, we are guilty of doing nothing to improve our environment. If we sit idly by and think someone else will do it, we are part of the problem. If we are complacent or believe like Sky that nothing can be done, then we're also a part of the problem. If we don't speak our truth, speak out about the things that truly matter to our lives, then we are part of the problem. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." And there comes a time when silence is betrayal of ourselves. So Eastern Queens Alliance has been trying to get everybody to step up to the plate, to speak truth. Our message today is don't be enablers of the hidden chokeholds. The chokeholds that you've seen with Garner and with George Floyd are right out there in our face, but there are many hidden chokeholds that we also need to address. Remember, the late John Lewis said, when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something and you have to do something. He also said you must be bold, brave, and courageous and find a way to get in the way. The Alliance, as I mentioned, has been doing this. We've been speaking up in a variety of ways about things that matter to all our communities. We're trying to make sure that our communities know the truth about environmental impacts and the science behind these impacts through our environmental science learning centers initiatives. We have been doing citizen science to gather data so that we can speak truth. As Dr. Hudda said, we have been trying to reach out and work with the scientists to help us to have the data to speak our truth. That's why we're so excited about the completion of the Idlewild Science Learning Center in January 2021, because that's going to allow us to really have a bigger forum to actually talk about the science and make sure that people really know the science. Over the years, we have been holding community meetings, forums, cafes, and workshops, and sponsoring petitions on a variety of topics, issues, and concerns that impact our community. A recent major topic is the impact of airports and airport-related industries on our health. And Dr. Hudda mentioned that airport communities around the world are actually plagued by air pollution and noise. And that's a real detriment to the lives of the people who live at what we call the foothills of the airports. So that's a really important topic. And everybody needs to realize that that's something that we have to focus on. Since the pandemic, they say it's an ill wind. It's an ill wind that doesn't blow some good. So people are not hearing the planes as much because about 70% of aviation has been impacted by COVID. But those planes are going to be coming back. The aviation industry is going to rebuild, and we must be vigilant, and we must be as insistent as we have been that the noise and the air pollution have to be dealt with as real problems in terms of the stakeholders on the ground. We meet with and we write to those in power to discuss those all the different issues and concerns that our communities have high up on the agenda. We've had legislative breakfasts with our elected officials to discuss those concerns. We've organized a youth leadership council, by the way, to get our youth involved in thinking about things that matter and speaking truth to create change. The council is called the EQA Roots and Shoots Youth Brigade. Roots and Shoots is a national, actually it's a global organization that helps youngsters to realize that they can make change. And they can make change about things that matter. And that they have leadership ability as well. So we have a chapter of the Roots and Shoots, have some very enthusiastic youngsters out there, and we're inviting anybody who has a tween or a teen, anybody from 10 to 19 or 22 to join the council. We hold this annual Benefit Awards Gala to honor those who are making significant contributions to create the change necessary to right the wrongs and raise our quality of life so that we can breathe freely. We do have, everybody should have a right to clean air. Going back to John Olson's question, what can we do to let our youngsters know that change is possible? How can all of us be a part of the solution? The Eastern Queens Alliance, we're always looking for those who want to lend their expertise, drive their passion for correcting wrongs to volunteer with us on creating change. We therefore invite you if so inclined to join us, just contact us at info@easternqueensalliance.org, or you can write me directly, BEBrown@easternqueensalliance.org. Please help us to advocate for ourselves by speaking our truth and speaking truth to power. Join and participate in your civic associations and other change-making organizations and be a part of the solution. As several people have mentioned this evening, a part of that is going out to vote. And so everybody, if they're not going to do absentee voting, they need to get to the polls. And there's early voting, and all of that's on, in New York City, you can go to Vote NYC to get information about how to vote in those different modes. I hope that you're enjoying this gala so far, and I want to thank all of those who've been working behind the scenes to make things work. There's a lot of moving parts in the background. So I do want to thank all of those people who are behind the scenes who are doing that. We have our gala committee spearheaded by our own Gloria Boyce Charles, who's really done a real yeoman's job pulling all of this together. So Gloria, I mean, there's a committee and we've all been working with Gloria, but Gloria has really done the heavy lifting on this. So I really want to thank Gloria for all of her work. And you know, they say if you do a good job, you get to do it again. We want to thank our honorary co-hosts, Congressman Meeks, State Senators Comrie and Sanders, and Council members Miller and Richards for joining us in this endeavor. Our corporate sponsors and other contributors who gave above and beyond. So there's the JFK redevelopment program of the Port Authority and the Gateway JFK. And there are several individuals, and they've been listed, who have made significant contributions to this event. The film making and editing, Teacup Productions, and there are people behind that. That's Eudora Scotland and Michael Scotland, who have pulled together all the videos that you're seeing. That's been a real intense job, and we want to thank them. And we want to thank Public Agenda for the Family Feud. It's a collaborative project between the Eastern Queens Alliance and Public Agenda. Some of you may have even taken the survey and participated in being a part of the 100 responses. So that answer, what was a donkey? Somebody did say that. There's no donkey in Idlewild, just wanted to mention that. And we wanted to thank all of the people who participated in the Family Feud. We have Aaliyah Abrams and Joelle Charles, Lonnie Glover, Mortimer Lawrence, Jasmine McPherson, and Diana Rose. And I think I may be missing a name here. But, and certainly if you attended our pre-gala reception, we want to thank Ralph McDaniels and his music video DJ work. That was a great start to the evening. And last but not least, I want to thank Gail Lewis, who is our mistress of ceremonies. And so thank you very much, Gail, for pulling all of this together and being willing to really volunteer your services here. And finally, I know I said last but not least, but finally, to all of you who are a part of the drum. And you know, in Africa, the talking drums are the way people communicated over time, and still can communicate that way. And so to all of those people who have been a part of the drum, who are helping us to get the word out, for instance, the Black Resource Network, the New York Amsterdam News, the Jamaica 311, and a whole host of volunteers who have been circulating information about our activities and our workshops and this gala. So thank you very much to all of you. And I want you to sit back and enjoy the rest of this evening. And remember, go out and vote. That's the first step that you can make in terms of making change. And if you see something, you have to say something. And you have to be, as John Lewis said, you have to be willing to get in good trouble. Because if you're not, no change will be made. So let's make sure that Sky and all the other young people in the Chester Children's Chorus are able to be optimistic about the future and know that change is being made now and things are going to be different as they are growing up, and that they will be able to help to make change they can help to make change now, and they are helping through that video, but they will also become, and hopefully, the future leaders of tomorrow to make this country a much better place for all people, no matter who they are. So thank you very much, and good evening.
One, two, three, go!
To all my friends at the Eastern Queens Alliance, I want to congratulate you on 30 years of serving our great community. You are such steadfast supporters of Queens, especially in Southeast Queens, where every single day you pick up a different fight to make sure that our constituents and the people that live there are well represented, have an advocacy organization that cares deeply, and actually gets results. Barbara Brown, congratulations on your many years of service. I was so honored to work with you on the Kennedy Airport Task Force and so many other issues that mattered so deeply. And to Gloria Boyce-Charles, thank you for your leadership as well and all of the community that you represent. Eastern Queens Alliance has been around for a very long time, but the leadership is strong and the community organization knows exactly what to do to get the results needed. And when it gets frustrated and hard, they just work harder. So congratulations on this evening to many, many more years of serving this great neighborhood and this great borough of Queens County. I would also be remiss today if I didn't congratulate you for your great success on Idlewild Park Environmental Science Center. As you know, I have a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, and every day we are looking for opportunities throughout this borough to go, to explore, and to learn, and most importantly, to have fun. So I look forward to bringing my children there. I look forward to creating so many memories, and for all of the generations that you've helped by making sure that that center happened, thank you so much on behalf of them.
Hello, this is State Senator Leroy Comrie. I wanted to thank the Eastern Queens Alliance on 30 years of success and advocacy and fighting for educational, environmental policy, environmental changes that can benefit Southeast Queens. I want to congratulate you on putting together this virtual benefit and gala today. I want to also acknowledge the honorees and thank them for their service to our community and to improving our environment. And I want to encourage the Eastern Queens Alliance members to keep on fighting to ensure that we have a better community for our children tomorrow. Again, this is State Senator Leroy Comrie, thanking you, the Eastern Queens Alliance, and all your supporters for everything that you're doing. Enjoy the gala. Stay safe.
Thank you, Senator Comrie. I see that he's still rocking quarantine hair, but it is what it is. And thank you for joining us tonight here at the Eastern Queens Alliance Virtual Gala. Now it's time for round 2 of Family Feud. Let's play the feud.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Idlewild Family Feud. Sweet Aster is in the lead with 63 points. Goldenrod is not on the board yet, but here's a chance to come back and make some points. Let's go for round 2 where the points are doubled. Give me Aaliyah, give me Jasmine. Let's go. All right, guys, we've got the top 4 answers on the board. We surveyed 100 people in southeastern Queens. Name one thing you would expect to find in a nature center. Jasmine.
Plants.
Okay, plants. Let's see, survey says. Number 3, not number 1. Aaliyah, can you do better?
Animals.
Animals, survey says. Oh, number 1. Sweet Aster, are we going to pass or play?
Play.
Play.
Okay.
Play.
We are playing. Let's go, Sweet Aster. Lonnie, name something you'll see it. Name one thing you would expect to find in a nature center.
Environmental concerns.
Okay, environmental concerns, survey says. There it is, environmental education info. One more answer on the board, Joelle. Can you sweep this for Sweet Aster? Name one thing you'd expect to find at a nature center.
I'm going to say like fossil rocks, things from the earth.
Things from the earth. Fossils, survey says.
I don't know.
What kind of nature center is this?
That's what I'm wondering. I thought it was
All right, Aaliyah, that's only one strike. You got some more chances. Only one answer left.
Oh. Okay. A chair.
I mean,
I expect to see a chair.
you got to sit somewhere. Let's see if the survey agrees. Survey says chair.
Chair. Good answer. These people don't know how to build nature centers.
Lonnie, one answer left, but only one chance left before Goldenrod can steal the points.
I would say fish.
Okay, fish at the nature center, survey says. I'm sorry. Okay, we're moving back to Goldenrod. Goldenrod, this is your chance to get on the board. Diana, name something you'd expect to see at a nature center.
We're going to go with exhibit timelines.
Okay, exhibit timelines. Survey says for the steal. I'm sorry. And that means Sweet Aster wins round 2 for a solid and super sweet 186 points. Okay, let's see what the final answer on the board was. Children. Gotta have people at the nature center. And that'll do it for round 2. We've got Sweet Aster ahead with 249 points. Goldenrod not on the board yet, but we've got one more round to go.
Support the Idlewild Environmental Science Center. If you haven't already, please, maybe right now would be a great time to make a donation. www.easternqueensalliance.org. You can always donate there. Now, let's meet our first group of this year's local residents and recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance Egret Community Service Award.
Good evening. My name is Lonnie Glover, President of the Springar Civic Association. I am also the Financial Secretary of the Eastern Queens Alliance. Mr. George Bradley is also so deserving of this award. Mr. Bradley, as we also learned, also lived in the Bronx, where he was active in a number of organizations, such as the Highbridge Community Organization and the chairperson of the Bronx Community Board 4 Parks Committee. When Mr. Bradley moved to Queens, he founded the Gilmore Street Block Association, and then years later, the New Spring Homeowners Association in Queens. Mr. Bradley has been very active in the Springar Civic Association, where he has been served on various committees over the years. Mr. Bradley's past involvement also includes Community Board 13, and has been an active member of the Friends of Springfield Park. George, I am honored to present you with the Eastern Queens Alliance 2020 Community Service Egret Award for Community Spirit and Engagement. And the plaque reads as follows: for your commitment to the quality of life of residents of Springfield Gardens as founder of the new Springfield Gardens Homeowners Association, and for your membership and leadership on Queens, Community Board 13, and the Friends of Springfield Park. George, we congratulate you.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Brown, and I'm the president of the Springfield Rosedale Community Action Association and chair of the Eastern Queens Alliance. Today, it is such a privilege and pleasure to present this year's Community Service Award to our own Crystal Brown. Crystal has served on the board of our Springfield Rosedale Civic Association since 2003. In 2006, she became our recording secretary and served in that capacity for 10 years, until she became the organization's first vice president in 2016. Crystal plays a critical role in the life of our organization. She's the consummate organizer of meetings and events, and because of her efforts, our membership participation in meetings has grown through the years. Crystal is beloved and respected by our members who reach out to her with their concerns, and she is always prompt in getting back. I know that Crystal would want me to include that she is a proud mother of Lauren, Julian, and daughter-in-law Jasmine, and a proud grandmother to Kingston. Crystal, I'm honored to present you with the Eastern Queens Alliance 2020 Community Service Egret Award for Community Spirit and Engagement. The award reads, for your leadership as an officer of the Springfield Rosedale Community Action Association Incorporated, and your outstanding efforts to support the quality of life of our community through your organization of civic meetings and community events. Congratulations, Crystal.
Good evening. My name is Michael Scotland, and I'm the president of Idlewild Park Civic Organization and the recording secretary of Eastern Queens Alliance. I'm honored to present this year's award to Renee Hill. Renee is a force of nature. That's the only way I can describe someone who is driven to be involved in so many initiatives and who performs in each of them so well. Renee is an entrepreneur, public accountant, entertainment business manager, has a background as a licensed securities broker, licensed insurance agent, and financial advisor. She was executive vice president of the Queens Civic Congress and the former president of Idlewild Park Civic Organization, which she helped landmark. Today, Renee is a chairperson of Community Board 12 and an executive board member of the St. Albans Chamber of Commerce, and a New York City Community Emergency Response Team member. Renee is a lifelong resident of Queens, a proud wife to Lester Hill, and a mother of 4. Renee, it is with great pride that I present you with the Eastern Queens Alliance 2020 Community Service Egret Award for Community Spirit and Engagement. Your leadership as past president of Idlewild Park Civic Organization, your dedication to the quality of life for the residents of Southeast Queens as chairperson of Community Board 12, and Executive Board member of St. Albans Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, Renee.
Congratulations, Crystal, Renee, and George. Instead of doing the traditional acceptance speech, we figured this evening we would just do a quick roundtable discussion where the audience could get to know our award recipients a little bit better. So please welcome Crystal Brown, Renee Hill, and George Bradley, all recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance Egret Community Service Award. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Renee. Hi. How are you guys this evening?
Good, thank you.
I have a question for all of you. We'll start with Crystal.
Hi, great. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. We'll start with Crystal with our get to know you question this evening. Crystal, what motivates you to be such an active member of your community?
Gail, thank you. You're doing a great job. I commend all of you for this first virtual gala. It's been a wonderful evening. I'm pleased to be here. And I have to say, honestly, example of my mother and father, the late Robert and Doris Burns. They told, but more importantly, they showed my sister and my two brothers and I that an education and a home would be the most important, the most essential elements in establishing a safe, secure family life. And especially home ownership, you're fortunate. Thankfully, 33 years ago this month, I was fortunate to buy my home here in the Brookville area of Southeast Queens. And I have to say, it's the biggest investment of my life. It's the most for the future of my children, and that's what's so important. And my parents I credit for motivating me and inspiring me, identifying, and my current motivation, inspiration are my children and grand. And I'm an introvert. I don't like politics. In that way, I'm kind of like Michelle Obama. I don't like politics. But I do believe that if you're one person, you don't have the same impact as you would if you're part of a community. So I feel that when you join together with like-minded neighbors in a civic organization, you can have more influence, you can be more effective, your concerns are heard, they're acted upon. And there's a Kenyan proverb that sticks in abundance are unbreakable. And I feel very strongly that being involved in a civic life in your community, I want to protect my investment. I know we're commanded to love my neighbor. I do love my neighbor, but I want to protect my investment for the future of my children. And Barbara is passionately about the physical. And that's what we're facing. And if I could just say one more thing, I don't want to overuse my time, but James Baldwin famously said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And thank God for the Community Action Association, the Eastern Queens Alliance of Civics, because we are ready to face these challenges.
Thank you, Crystal. Renee, we're going to throw that question to you now. What motivates you, especially you wear a lot of hats in the community. I don't want to know how many hats are in your closet. What motivates you to be such an active member of your community?
Like Crystal said, it's the love of the community, the love of the residents here, the friends I've made, and we all want a good quality of life. So it's important that we be
be part of making that happen. And we can't always depend on someone else to help us make it happen. Everyone else is busy, especially elected officials doing legislation or doing other things. So we all need to chip in. And it started with me sort of protecting my house, like Crystal said. I live across the street from the VA hospital, and I was going to the meetings, and there was going to be a change to the VA hospital. They were going to sell it to developers. And I didn't think that was good for the community. The veterans didn't want it in the community. And we formed a coalition with the veterans, the community, some of the community leaders and the veterans formed a coalition called UCVCR, and we fought to we fought to change the minds of a lot of elected officials in our community to see that we really needed this site, even environmentally. It was an environmental injustice to allow a big development to go there when we need green in our community and we had a high water table. So we used environmental injustice in our fight as well. And using that and fighting with the veterans for their needs, and we're still fighting because we still need a hospital there for them. But doing that convinced me it wasn't only about my house; it was about everyone else. It was about bringing economic. When we used to have the VA hospital here, it was our community was more vibrant, and people were making more money because they were able to work right there in our community. But since they have downsized it, that a lot of those advantages have gone away. So, you know, that kind of motivated me. That did motivate me. Also, after that, we fought to correct the high water table in our community. And that was successful because eventually the mayor, through the city council, gave money to start fixing the sewage system. So it's just the need and the love for the community that motivates me to be out there, and if I'm able to and I have the time, I'm willing to help.
Thank you. Lastly, George, same question. What motivates you to be such an active member of your community?
Well, it all began as a youngster with my mother asking me to shovel snow for our neighbors, carry packages for the older people. And she always said, help us to help each other, Lord, each other's burden bear. And from that, I started off assisting people in my neighborhood. When I got to the Bronx, I met two of my present long-term friends, Dennis Terry and the Reverend Larry McFarland. In the Bronx, I was a part of the Highbridge Community Organization on Community Board 4, and I also, on Community Board 4, I was part of the Parks Committee. And so from there, I came to East Elmhurst, Queens. I was a partner in starting the Gilmore Block Association. And as the first lady said, she bought her home 33 years ago, and so did I. January 15, 1987, I purchased my home in Springfield Gardens. And at this point, I met James Goldston, who was a part of the Springfield Community Association. And from that point, I joined Springfield. I became a member of the Friends of Springfield Park. And I became a so-called activist in my community. And from there, one thing about your community, when you find you are successful, it spurs you on. And that is one thing I found success. There was a point where in PS 251, they destroyed the playground. And along with the then council member, James Sanders, the PTA of 251, and their principal, my wife and I worked very hard, and we were able to get a new playground constructed in PS 251. It's always a pleasure to work in the community, and the pleasure becomes multiplied when you are successful. And success in community work builds on more success, and the more successful you are, the more charged you are. So it's really been a pleasure being in this community, and I am honored and privileged to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George. And congratulations one more time to Crystal Brown, Renee Hill, and George Bradley, this year's recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance Egret Community Service Award. Now, here's a few words from author and New York One anchor Cheryl Wills.
Greetings, it's your friend Cheryl Wills from Spectrum News, New York One. I want to send my heartfelt congratulations to all of you on your 30th anniversary. All of you at the Eastern Queens Alliance, you're doing God's work. And I want to send a special shout out to my friend Gloria and all of my friends. You know, it's important that you do what you do, especially in the climate that we're living in. A lot of people don't take environmental issues seriously, but we are thankful that you do, and we're very grateful that you represent Southeast Queens. We are living in unprecedented times. This pandemic has taught us all that environmental issues can make or break us. That's why I am talking to you via my Mac computer, because we can't even get together as we have in years past. I want to salute all of the honorees, and I want to send my very best wishes. Keep up the life-saving work. We need you now more than ever.
Thank you, Cheryl Wills, for your continued support of the Eastern Queens Alliance. And thank you also for speaking your truth this evening. Now, let's take a look at our final group of local honorees.
Good evening, ladies and gents. My name is Robert Glover. I'm the president of the Federated Blocks of Laurelton. And today we have the distinction to present Mr. Johnson with the Egret Award. Mr. Johnson has been with the Federation for quite a few years. He served as president from 2011 to 2017, which Mr. Johnson is a member of several organizations in the community. Today we are here to present Mr. Dwight with the Eastern Queen Alliance 2020 Community Service Egret Award in the Community Sphere of Engagement. The plaque reads as follows: for your commitment to the quality of life, Southeastern Queen resident, through your distinguished service as a board member and the past president of the Federated Blocks of Laurelton, and your volunteer in your local school and community base, we, the Eastern Queen Alliance, have the pleasure of presenting you with this award. Congratulations, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you so much for inviting the Rosedale Civic Association. Congratulations to all the other recipients this evening. My name is Emmeline Taylor, and I'm the president of the Rosedale Civic Association. And it is my proud pleasure to introduce my colleague and friend, Marcia O'Brien. Marcia is a dedicated member of the Civic Association, a mother, businesswoman, and community activist. Wherever she is, her leadership skills shine through. At Montefiore Medical Center, she leads a team of physicians and social workers who assist people with medical and mental health barriers to employment and self-sufficiency. She's a wonderful mother to Amanda and Wendell Jr. and partners with them as the CEO of MWA Realty Corporation. In our very own Rosedale community, we are blessed to have her as a past and returning president of the Rosedale Civic Association and the coordinator of the ever-expanding and popular Memorial Day Parade. Last but not least, amongst all her other endeavors and service projects, as the president of the 148th Block Association, she heads up the Santa Toy Drive, which is in its, I want to say, 10th year, and gives back to so many children every Christmas. Marcia, it is my privilege to present to you the 2020 Community Service EGRET Award for Community Spirit and Engagement. For your proud leadership on the executive board of the Rosedale Civic Association, Inc., and your unwavering commitment to the quality of life of Rosedale residents through your work as a community organizer and your service on the Queens Community Board 13. Once again, congratulations, well deserved.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Kellum Foster, and I am the president of the Springfield Gardens Taxpayers and Citizens Association. Tonight, I am honored to introduce Ms. Darlene Peoples. By day, Darlene specializes in packaging and designing products for children and pets. And you're likely to have seen some of her designs on items manufactured by Fisher-Price, Disney, Sesame Street, and Animal Planet, and even in the Humane Society. Her work has provided her with the multiple opportunities to travel to China. Darlene has shared her design talents with children through her volunteer work with New York Cares, and where she has taught classes in Excel, Adobe Photoshop, and Illustrator, as well as in painting, needlework, and sewing. For the last 5 years, she has served as Sergeant of Arms. Darlene is always ready and willing to help out in any way that she can. When she joined the Civic, she joined with a bang. She joined with a bang and a willingness to help. And for this, we appreciate her so very much. We thank Darlene for the generous sharing of her gifts with our community and beyond. Darlene, it is my privilege to present you with the Eastern Queens Alliance 2020 Community Service EGRET Award for Community Spirit and Engagement. For your selflessness, dedicated service to Southeast Queens through your work as Sergeant at Arms with the Springfield Gardens Taxpayers and Citizens Association, and to the larger New York City community through your volunteerism with New York Cares. Congratulations, Darlene.
Congratulations, Marcia O'Brien, Dwight Johnson, and Darlene Peoples, all recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance EGRET Community Service Award. They're going to answer a roundtable discussion question this evening as well. Here they come. Congratulations again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. So we'd like for everyone to get to know you a little bit better by asking you to answer this question. We'll start with Marcia. What advice would you give to other members of the community who are not currently engaged, but who are interested in getting involved? Marcia?
Great. Good evening, Gail. First, I'd like to say thank you to my Civic President, Emlyn Taylor. And Gail, thank you for that beautiful introduction. And I'd like to say special thanks to EQA, Rosedale Civic, the 148th Drive and Community Block Association, Community Board 13 for the special recognition. And thanks also to my family and friends who are here with me. They're listening and enjoying the beautiful video from the EQA. Their ongoing, unwavering support and patience actually allows me to do what I do in the community after my long day of work. The advice that I would give to other members of the community who are not currently engaged, but who are interested in getting involved would be to join their local community organizations, such as their block associations, their civic association, their community boards, and don't forget the PTA. You see, a community is a group of people whose interests and who interact with one another. They share common goals and they share common values and beliefs and behavior. So when you invest in your community will in turn invest in you. They say each one teach one, each one lead one. And in this case, each one can help one. So your involvement can help shape the community that you want to live in. It will also humanize you, and it gives you your voice, a sense of purpose, it's a sense of fulfillment. And with that said, everyone, when we join together, we're able to make an impact. And that's what I have to offer.
Thank you, Marcia, and congratulations again. Darlene, same question. Congratulations, first of all. What advice would you give to other members of the community who are not currently engaged, but who are interested in getting involved?
Thank you to my president for nominating me, and to congratulations to the other nominees and the Eastern Queens Alliance. What I would probably say is that you need to you have some value. You have value in the community as a person, and you have a voice that you should use. One of the things that I feel like for your vote, you need to know who your assembly people are, your chair people, and you need to, go out to know who and what is in your community, your schools, your police, your medical, your transit sanitation, and basically be involved and be aware. From that point, what I would say to you then is I would invite you to the Springfield Gardens Taxpayer and Citizens Association to come to meet my members and get to know our community and what we do. And then, because I feel with the whole community as a whole, we help each other. And, the numbers of people, the people make power. You have power in the numbers. So if you have a voice and you can't speak, then you write. And if you can't write, then you vote.
Thank you, Darlene.
That's what I would say.
Great advice. Thank you. And let's just see if we can get Dwight back on the line. Hi, Dwight.
Okay, I'm here. And how are you?
Good. You can continue your answer.
And I would like to thank the Eastern Queens Alliance, the Federated Blocks of Lawton, and the people from Southeastern Queens who have supported a lot of the initiatives that I have worked on, or the community have worked on for years. And when you talk about people getting involved, you have to read some of the local newspapers, see what's going on in your community, see what's going on around you. Be part of that by going to your local libraries, by going to the precinct meetings, whatever community you're in, by being involved with the PTA. There are so many different avenues, and if you're not quite sure, then you come to the civics and you talk to community leaders and you ask them, what's the best course? How do I start? How do I get involved? Getting involved in your community could help save your community. You could be the one that could make a difference. I found that out when my wife first told me I was complaining about all the crime and stuff that was going on in my community. And I got involved with a activist who lived around the corner from me. And he encouraged me, he said, well, come out to the 105 precinct meetings, come out to the civic meetings. And so from there, we started working together and doing things. And yes, we were able to bring more police into the community. We were able to get other people involved. And when I moved to Laurelton, I joined the Federated Blocks of Laurelton. Our current president, Mr. Robert Glover, is doing an excellent job with coming up with new initiatives for us to do, and we hope to continue. But for people, you need to get out, not just driving your cars, but walk to your community, talk to your neighbors, and know who they are, and let them know who you are and what you're about. So I appreciate this award that was given to me, and I thank the Eastern Queens Alliance, the Federated Blacks of Laurelton, and all of the people from Southeastern Queens.
Thank you, Dwight. Again, great advice from his wife. Husbands, you heard it from Dwight. Listen to your wife. That's what got him so involved. And we are all reaping the benefits. So thank you, Dwight. Once again, congratulations to Marcia O'Brien, Dwight Johnson, and Darlene Peoples, all recipients of the Eastern Queens Alliance Egret Community Service Award. Now, enjoy this video of beautiful Idlewild Park.
All right, welcome back to round 3, the final round of Idlewild Family Feud. This one is for the win. Give me Mortimer, give me Lonnie. Let's go. All right, Mortimer and Lonnie, you've got 7 top answers on the board from a survey of 100 people in southeastern Queens. Name one reason that wetlands are important.
They filter out the air and they clean the water and protect the grasslands.
Okay, filter water. We're going to go with the first one. Filter water, survey says. Okay, 9 points. Lonnie?
They prevent flooding or assist in helping to prevent flooding in the community.
Okay, flood prevention, survey says. 31. Looks like we're going back to Sweet Aster.
We're going to play.
And we're going to play. Okay, Joelle, name one reason wetlands are important.
For the different wetland creatures that they preserve.
Okay, for the creatures. Survey says. There we go, number 1 answer. Aaliyah, name one reason wetlands are important.
Recreation. It's like fishing and boating stuff.
Recreation, survey says. Not quite. Lonnie, back to you.
Environmental control.
Environmental control, survey says. There we go. Joelle, back to you. Name one reason why wetlands are important.
I'm guessing maybe it's helpful during the hot seasons. Maybe it keeps our soil a little bit moist.
Yeah.
No problem. That's fair.
Aaliyah, you've got one chance left, one answer left before we go to Goldenrod to steal. Name one reason why wetlands are important.
Because people liked them.
Because people liked them.
Yes,
Survey
they're important
says.
to people. That's why they're important. People like them. Okay, that's fair.
I'm sorry. Okay.
People don't like them. Got it.
Goldenrod, this is it. This is your chance to get on the board. Diana, name one reason why wetlands are important.
They help protect our shores. They protect the shores from shore protection.
Protecting the shores, survey says. Oh, and that means that Sweet Aster has won the game with 276 points in round 3. Sweet Aster has swept the board. I'm sorry, Goldenrod team, that you didn't make it this time. But don't be too sad, because you also win a copy of the newsprint edition of the 1619 Project magazine. Let's give it up for our winners, Sweet Aster.
Yeah.
Thank you all for playing Idlewild Family Feud. And if you would like to join us for Idlewild Family Feud, stay tuned to the Queens Alliance. We'll be hosting another round where the whole community can play. Hope to see you there.
Congratulations, Team Sweet Aster, on your blowout win. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the man behind Family Feud. He is our own version of Steve Harvey. He is Mr. Treston Codrington from Public Agenda.
Thanks so much, Gail. Hi, everyone. My name is Treston Codrington from Public Agenda, where our mission is to build a democracy that works for everyone. And what a wonderful evening tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed watching Idlewild Family Feud as much as I enjoyed hosting it. And let's give it up one more time for our winning team, Sweet Aster, and our players, Aaliyah Abram and Joel Charles and Lonnie Glover. But let's also give it up for our runner-ups, Mortimer Lawrence, Jasmine McPherson, and Diana Rose. Tonight, we celebrated individuals who are spearheading research and change in the communities of Southeastern Queens. We also solemnly marked the tragic deaths of our Black and Brown siblings at the hand of civic and social injustice. Chairperson Brown charged us to step up to the plate, to speak our truth, and to not be an enabler of the hidden chokeholds. EQA, in partnership with my organization, Public Agenda, and the Science and Resilience Institute at Jamaica Bay, are providing you an opportunity to speak your truth on what resilience should look like in Southeastern Queens through the Cycles of Resilience Project. Idlewild Family Feud, which you just watched, is the first step in the process, and it's a fun way for members of the community to see what their neighbors think about important environmental and social questions, and of course, learn some new things. If you'd like to play this game and win a prize, the Eastern Queens Alliance will be hosting a virtual game night and a town hall where we will surface and deliberate on what the most important community priorities are in making a resilient Southeastern Queens. You'll also get to see some of the real answers on why wetlands are important and find out what animals really are in Idlewild Park. Here's a guess, not donkeys. When the date is announced, please invite your friends, family, and neighbors, even and probably especially the ones you don't know so well. Cycles isn't just about building community knowledge, but also building relationships with scientists and members of city government. And after the game night, you can join us for future cycle activities that will give opportunities for you to hear directly from researchers and officials from the mayor's office on things they're working on. And they want to hear what your priorities are. That's why we need your help in getting as many Southeastern Queens residents to these meetings. Let the government officials see just how much this community cares about the resilience of this area. Don't miss this chance to actually work together with decision makers and scientists to shape what resilience will mean in Southeastern Queens. This is an ongoing process, so please stay tuned to the EQA newsletter for future updates. Thank you all so much, and congrats to the honorees and to the EQA team led by Barbara and Gloria for this fabulous event.
Thank you, Tristan, and thanks for all the work you do over at Public Agenda. And thank you for supporting the Eastern Queens Alliance. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's come to that part of the evening when I get to say good night to everyone and thank you. First, thank you to all of our sponsors, including the JFK Redevelopment Program and Gateway JFK. Special thanks to Congressman Greg Meeks, Senators Leroy Comrie and James Sanders, and Council members Danique Miller and Donovan Richards. Remember, so much great work goes on at the Eastern Queens Alliance, and there is something that you can do to help. You can go to easternqueensalliance.org and make a donation and help us to help our community and our environment. And if you've already made a donation, then get one of your friends or neighbors to make one as well. Remember, the theme of this evening was speaking our truth. And the best way for all of us to speak our own individual truths is to cast a ballot for Election Day. A reminder that November 3rd is Election Day and early voting starts soon. So get out and cast your ballot and speak your truth. On a personal note, please join me on election night at qptv.org, where you can watch me from 8 p.m. till midnight, or as long as it goes, as I call the local and national election results. So qptv.org to watch me on election evening. Thanks again for everyone here at the Eastern Queens Alliance. Thank you so much for supporting us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you again next year in person at the Eastern Queens Alliance Gala. Good night, everybody.